I got Keaton Mitchell out of East Carolina. I think when you look at Keaton Mitchell, first off, running back, East Carolina, you immediately think of Chris Johnson,
Yeah.
Because he was just a freak of nature, how fast he ran. But, incredibly explosive guy. This guy ran a 4.3. Keaton Mitchell is so fast. But what is so fascinating, he's not big. He's like 5'7", a $179. It doesn't matter. He doesn't fumble. I don't have to worry about that. Everyone says, oh, the size. I don't really care. If the size isn't resulting into fumbles, then I don't really care. And my next player, I'm going to bring that up too. He's a great route runner to the point where I would say he qualifies as a receiver at the next level. Like, if he can't be a running back, if a team is worried about him taking on those punishments, then I think he can work as a receiver. He's not going to help you at all in pass pro because, like I said, in case you didn't hear me, he's 5'7", a $179. But he's got great ball security, like I mentioned. Bursty, has that long speed where the home run, you can kick into a third gear. Man, that guy looks like he's running a 4.1 flat on tape sometimes. I mean, just when he gets ahead to steam, he's gone. He's got the agility to boot. He's got the awareness. I think he's a very good, as far as vision, I think he's fantastic. He's somebody that is going to be probably not your starter because he's 5'7", a $179, but he's that RB2 we talked about earlier. He's the RB2 that will be a household name. He's going to be like Tony. I'm not saying he is Tony Pollard. I'm not saying he's that type of style. That's not my comparison for him. But he's going to be like Tony Pollard in that he goes to the right scheme, situation, whatever. He'll be that gadget guy. He'll be remember Dexter McCluster, remember Dree Archer, guys like that. Those hybrid wide receiver running backs. They didn't end up being super big. I think this guy can be really big. I actually have a second round grade on him. And wow. I think he is a starting football player. I don't think he's a starting running back, but you can put him all over the field. Keaton Mitchell, East Carolina. I think people are sleeping on him. I'm way higher on him than the consensus. He's a sleeper, and he's not going in the second round. You could probably get him in the 7th. People are really sleeping on this guy.
Okay, big sleeper, Keaton Mitchell. Write it down. Yeah, you mentioned excitement factor, cutting on his tape, pure excitement. One thing you mentioned it, catching out of the backfield. This man can catch the ball in the backfield, and I think getting him in space, that's going to be the offensive coordinator's bread and butter. Hey, if Keaton's in the game, get him in space so he can make moves. You mentioned a starting football player. Guys like Keaton, you can get him on special teams, returning punts, returning kicks. That's going to be bread and butter for guys like this. So when they're doing stuff like that on special teams, they can work their way up into that starting role. Like, hey, this guy is productive not only at the running back spot, but he can also do multiple things. So I can see him, like you said, that maybe that third down back, catching the ball out of the backfield, converting first downs, and also on special teams as a returner on both phases, on kick return and punt. And another thing, too, he likes to find the edges. He finds open space, he's gone. Once he gets on that edge, if that receiver is blocked, he is out of there. So I like him as well. I said he's shifty. That's something I got in my notes as well. He'll find the open lanes. He's not scared to run up in the middle. I know we talked about some of the other running backs who want to find the edge and don't really trust, their blockers like that, but he does. So it was cool to see his tape and watch him go as a 5'9" guy. And Jake, I mean, I got him. He kind of reminds me of one of the players that I've seen in the Super Bowl, actually. He's a little bit shorter, but you talk about Boston Scott, a nifty, a shifty guy who can get to the edge. Boston Scott might be 5'5" or 5'4" or 5'4", but Boston Scott is a baller. Like I said, Boston Scott's on your punt return. He's on your kick return. He's doing all the dirty work. And then when he does get in that running back, he makes it happen. So I do like this pick here.
Yeah. Well, first off, I'll say this right now. Boston Scott is not a bad thing. If he ends up being Boston Scott, if you draft him in the second round, you want him to be a little bit better, right? But if they, you get him in the 7th round, he's Boston Scott. Well, you, my friend, have found value because not every 7th rounder makes the roster. Because there are guys like you that are going to knock him off the roster.
That's true. That's true.
Think about that. So, that's something to keep in mind.